Hello and welcome to Sports Talk, a wrap-up of the spring sports season at East Brunswick High School. Hi, I'm Ken Saroka, and I'm joined in studio by Frank Malta, the Supervisor of Athletics for the East Brunswick Public Schools. And Frank, we start off with a kind of an improbable run with the baseball team, getting all the way. I mean, we're here now, it's the end of the school year, it's late June, but the baseball team kept playing until June, and that had to be kind of an out-of-the-blue moment here for East Brunswick.
Yeah, thanks for having me too, by the way, Ken. But yeah, they went on that run at the end of the season. They made a small run in the GMC tournament, got to the semis, lost a heartbreaker in 12 to North Brunswick, but then state tournament started, and a lot of confidence, a lot of pitching, a lot of defense, got them to where they needed to be. Played a lot of close games, were able to come get those teams at the end of those games, and they got to that sectional final and lost to Howell, who was the eventual Group 4 state champion. So they had a great year, 17 and 13, but the end of the year, a little bit of magic for them, a little lightning in a bottle, and they were able to make that run. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, that's the thing. The year was okay up to that point.
Yeah, I thought it was better than okay. I thought they did a pretty good job. They hung in there, played tough with a lot of teams, and I thought there was a lot of very good pitching in the GMC. And they held their own. They more than held their own, and I thought they did a really good job.
And this is a team that didn't have, I was just looking at the list, didn't have a lot of all-stars. This was not a team that is all-division, all-conference. You had one all-red division.
Yeah, the one thing they did do, they played selfless baseball. They were able to move runners. They were able to sack bunt guys over. They played a lot of small ball, and I think it just became contagious within their dugout. I think when you're able to do those little things and you're playing for each other, I think that's why those runs happen, and I think they did that.
Dustin McGinnis, I was reading there, all-red division. A lot of returners coming back next year. Do we have hope for next year with this?
Yeah, the entire pitching staff is back, which I think is a great thing. I think they had the lowest ERA in East Brunswick history, 2.06.
Wow.
That's going to keep you in every game, and then I think for them, it was offensively where when their offense showed up, they were going to win. If they struggled or we faced some really good pitching this year, and that is one thing that can nullify that ERA. So if we can just hit, and keep that offense going, I think we'll be able to return those guys on the mound, and then be able to score some runs and hopefully get on another run and do some more damage.
Now, are those players going to be doing summer ball, or are they more like they're going to show up for the football team in the fall?
Yeah, no, travel's a big deal right now, but we also have our summer league team through the high school, so they'll be playing together, and they're a pretty tight knit group, and I think that's another reason why they're having some success and they're having some fun playing.
All right, so we move now to the softball team, and Coach Kevin Brady, him and I share a lunch duty, and he was just like, "Yeah, we're just struggling. We're just, we're trying to grind it out." Yeah. And the record was 9-16.
They
were just kind of not getting over, not getting that momentum that they needed.
Yeah, very true. I think they were a pretty good offensive team. I thought that they scored some runs. I think we used a couple different pitchers throughout the season, and I think we couldn't slow down some of the GMC red teams that we saw. We played really well out of the red. The red was very deep, very talented. We did wind up winning the North Star Classic in the beginning of the season down in Hamilton, but then just kind of played up and down softball. And found ourselves on the losing end of a lot of those games.
You had a couple of individual stars there of all red divisions. You had Madison Bone and Julia Thiel.
Yep, and they did a very good job, behind the plate. Madison was very good, and Julia really was an offensive power for us. She was a first-team All-GMC player, and she was very good. She had a very good year for us. And the great thing is that there are a lot of returners. There was a bulk of juniors on that team, some sophomores, and a few freshmen as well. So, that's great for the future. They got some experience this year, and then hopefully now they use that experience, take that into next year, and can, find themselves on the better end of that 9-16 record.
All right. Now we move on to boys lacrosse, and this is one of the sports that we and EBTV usually do in the spring, but because of the issue with the football field renovations, we didn't get a chance to do any of those games this year.
Right.
They're 10-8 overall.
Yeah. Really started off hot, scoring a lot of goals. Very exciting team to watch throughout the season. Played very tough within the red. Ben Salamini scored 100 goals. Stephen Pepe was our face-off guy. He won 279 face-offs, and T.J. Lynch had 178 saves on the season. Really just, got to the second part of the season, second half of the season, and kind of played up and down as well. Lost some tough games in the GMC tournament and also in the state tournament. So, a lot of those kids graduate, but then there's a nice group of young guys coming up to keep the program going in that direction.
When we first started with that program, and I think it was probably, I want to say 98, 97.
Okay.
There was that feeder program. It was the Blackhawks. Yeah. It was the first that I recognized, the first rec program that really fed East Brunswick. And I guess because it was a specialized sport, is that still the case today, where there are these rec programs that are feeding, or is this something that is now become at a different level, where these student athletes are taking upon themselves to get into club teams, travel teams, other than the local rec team like that?
Blackhawks is still very strong in East Brunswick. They do a great job feeding our program. A lot of our kids do play, different teams, different organizations throughout. They do it to be able to travel and go get themselves in front of some college coaches to be able to get to the next level. But yeah, Blackhawks has done a great job for us on both the boys and girls side. So they're definitely feeding into our program and keeping our program very solid. Moving our younger guys up through.
And on the girls' side, a little bit more of a struggle of a year for them, 8 and 10. But again, individual performances.
Yeah, it really
dominate.
did. Allie Johnson had 100 points this season. Allie Whedon had 100 points and 100 goals. And Alexandra King had her 300 save this year. So, team record not where we wanted it to be, but individually we had some really standout performances from some great young ladies on that team.
Are there opportunities for them to play? I mean, we talked about the Blackhawks who started out as a boys team, but then now they're doing the girls.
Yep.
Is there opportunities for them to pick up the summer travel type games?
Oh yeah, a lot of our girls do play travel in the summer. Just like the boys do. There's a lot of opportunities out there for the young ladies to be seen by some of the colleges that can travel to see them in the summer and hopefully give them an opportunity to play at the next level.
All right, so we're going to shift to a sport that, unfortunately, because just the way it is, nobody gets a chance to see the team actually perform. And this was a joke that former athletic director Frank Malta used to always say is, and the golf coach Bo Henning used to always say is like, the next fan that comes out will be our first fan. But the golf teams, boys golf 7 and 6.
Yeah. Yeah, they were GMC finalists. They played tough throughout the year. Weather for them was always an issue. It seemed like on the days that they were playing, they got the worst days to play. But, Coach Spisak did what he had to do with his guys, and they gutted it through. And the fact that they were a GMC finalist was a great thing because, they started playing very well in that tournament. And when the weather was breaking for them, that's when they were playing their best golf.
And the girls golf team, a little bit better record, 8 and 7.
Yeah, they were young. Coach Monteseschi had a great group of young ladies out there, and I think he's very excited for the future for them. This was, a great introduction for them this season as a young group, and I think moving forward they're going to have some success in the GMC and possibly the states, as they get a little older in the program.
Where do they play their matches?
Tamarack.
Everything's at Tamarack.
Our home matches are at Tamarack, and then some of our other teams they travel to and
they don't play 18 hole. I mean, what, they play 9?
They play 9. Yeah, they play 9.
So. Now, where do they go to practice?
They practice at Tamarack as well.
Too?
Yeah, Tamarack has been very great with us. Just in terms of allowing us to use the course, practice at the course. We've been doing it for quite some time with them, and they're really very easy to work with for us. They look forward to our kids getting out there, so we really appreciate what they do for us in the spring.
Are there any really good away courses that they play at that some of the golfers in the audience would recognize?
Club. Yeah, they go to Metuchen Country Club. They play there. I think they played at Plainfield Country Club as well. I think that might have been last year, but that's a very nice course as well. They get to see some good ones. Yeah, because like you said, we don't get to see them. We don't get to watch them. It's hard, and then obviously you can't, you're not having any television coverage like that. And once they get out there, they're on their own. It's a very, it's the honor system. Once you're out there with your score, you're playing in a foursome. Usually 2 of our players, 2 of theirs, and it's about that. It's just about the integrity of the sport and. Playing and getting to know some of the other players.
Nobody's calling in on the, calling in and saying, hey, you grounded your club in a hazard, the penalty, strokes.
Very true. Yeah, very true. That's the great thing about the sport, though. It's that you really get to be social with the other team. Which is not the same in a lot of our other sports. Everybody's moving so quickly and moving so fast, and the way that the games are played. But this game and this sport allows you to be able to kind of get to know your opponent and be able to talk to them. And a lot of the kids become friends and see each other in the summer when they continue to play, away from the high school. So
how many teams? How many schools in the GMC have golf teams?
27 have teams.
Wow,
yeah, it's a lot. So. Yeah.
Wow, I was not anticipating that.
Yeah.
I thought maybe half might the bigger schools perhaps.
They play. They get out there and they play. It's a great thing. And the tournaments are run really well, like our GMC tournament, both our boys and our girls, the individual tournaments. They do a great job with it. And the state tournament as well. They do a wonderful job of being able to showcase the kids, giving them an opportunity not only to win a team championship, but an individual championship as well, at the conference level and at the state level. There's a section, and then there's the group finals as well. So it's a great thing that they do.
And we had a great season for boys track, girls track, but boys track especially. An incredible season here.
Yeah, our boys won the Group 4 state championship. Just remarkable as the season went on. They seemed to just keep getting better and better every time out. That's the goal, with track. Those numbers, your times, just getting them down. And our guys were very consistent with personal bests, setting county and school records throughout the season. Showcasing a few of our events, the 4x100 for the boys, James Sparrow, Chris Soreo, Aiden Baudelli, Jaden Phillip. They were just fun to watch when they ran their 4x1. The 4x4, Josh Augustine, Chris Soreo, Aiden Baudelli, and Jaden Phillip. Again, just those groups just did remarkable things as they went into the sections, the groups, and meet the champs. Our Penn relays this year also, we won that international race. Just did a great job throughout the season. As the season went on, some of these guys, Chris Soreo and Jaden both set multiple school and county records, a lot of personal bests by them. I was able to get out there a bunch of times, especially just some of the GMC stuff, and just the excitement when they get on the track and you watch them go. Watching our guys on the shuttle hurdles, Chris especially on the hurdles, just does a remarkable job there. It just seems like everybody else is standing still as they're moving, and a great job by Coach DiGiacchino with that group of kids because they really kept on improving. If the season continued, they'd probably be putting up even better numbers now. So,
well, what impresses me is you mentioned two different relay teams. Yeah. A really quick relay, the 4x100,
yep.
And then 4x400, which is one full lap, and 3 out of the 4 same people on both.
Yes.
And you would think that runners would be either sprint or a little more distance, and yet these young men can do both.
Yeah. And they were interchangeable too. They were able to rest some guys along the way as well to get them out of one of those races, because as you're in some of those championships, you're looking to keep legs fresh and you're looking to do things to be able to allow the kids to compete, keep them healthy, and yet go win that meet. And I think that they did that. They did a very good job. They did a very good job of it moving forward during the spring season.
And the girls had a pretty good season too.
Yeah, they won. They were the GMC relay champions. I was there that day at South Brunswick. That was a great day. They were remarkable. They did a wonderful job. Some of the highlights was Chloe Smith, Ariana, and Kat McSweeney. They just with the pole vault. They were awesome. Our girls distance medley team also did a very good job. That relay championship that they won at the GMC relay championship they won, I think it was the first time in about 14 years, that we won it. So it was a pretty exciting day, and I was happy to be there and see the looks on our kids' faces, on our coaches' faces. They were excited, and they accomplished a great thing that day.
While we're talking about track, let's talk about the renovations that are going on. I mean, the football field is one set.
Right.
But you explained to me before we were on the air here that you are replacing, or the school is replacing the track. Was that damaged in the storms from last summer? Or was this just a regular kind of, we need to replace this now because it's 15 years old?
No, I think the track part of it, they go hand in hand, the track and the turf. They usually get replaced together. It just makes sense to do. And so, the turf is up right now, and they're going to replace and put the new turf down, and then they're going to come in, rip up what's there of our existing track, and then replace that and put in a new track. So the exciting part of all this is that we're going to have a brand new, beautiful facility in September. I think we're all looking forward to it. I know our teams are, to be able to have that venue. Our stadium venue is a great one. I know there's a lot of excitement, and once it's done, it's going to be a beautiful place. So
you mentioned though that when they tear it up, that when they lay down the new track, it has to sit for a couple of weeks.
It'll sit. It'll sit and settle because of the rubber, that they put down and the material that they used. And so, hopefully as all of this work is getting done this summer and we can get to completion, we'll be able to be out there again, just celebrating our teams on that stadium. So looking forward to it.
Now, is the track renovations, they have to get that done first before we get the football field done?
The turf will get done first. Yeah, the turf will get done first, and then the track will get done. But they can rip up parts of. They can start taking up the track while they're replacing the turf, and then the track will go in after.
And that's going to start like immediately.
They ripped up the carpet about 3 weeks ago, and now the rest of the construction is going to begin to do the full replacement process. So.
Is there anything else planned for that area, like to get maybe grandstands or anything else replaced while we're here?
No, they're all in great shape. So I mean, that's not the issue. The issue was just some of the damage from that storm that our turf took.
And hopefully we'll have that up and ready for football season, so we can broadcast football games again.
Yep, that's going to be the great thing. Once it's done and completed, it's going to be beautiful again, and it's going to be an exciting place to watch us compete.
All right, another absolutely great story for East Brunswick Athletics in the spring is the boys tennis team.
Yeah.
And having, I've had Jack Wong in class. I have him in homeroom this year. Just an incredible story right there. And I think it was fun because when we announced it over the PA system that our two doubles teams are beating each other in the final.
Yeah.
That was crazy to hear.
Going into this season, just knowing what we had on those courts, we lived up to every bit of it. I think the feeling that we were going to kind of run through the GMC and run through Group 4 happened just like it did. We won the section, won the Group 4 championship. All 5 flights swept through the GMC tournament. They did a fantastic job, and then ran up against a tough Pingree team in the semifinals of the Tournament of Champions, and then the final was against Newark Academy, who is as good as we are. To watch them play, it was a great matchup, and they wound up beating us 3-2, and really 3-2.
Didn't we lose to Newark Academy last year also?
We did, yes, we did.
So I think maybe revenge.
Yeah, they were
work.
just so tough. They were very good. They were a very, very good club. But our guys, performed so well throughout the year. We got and getting to the individual state tournament as well. Our two doubles teams played against each other in the overall state final, which we were talking about it with one of the reporters at that final, and he said it happened a couple years ago. We really couldn't remember where and who it was, but to see our two teams play against each other. Kind of like
Venus and Serena meeting each other in the finals.
It was kind of that feeling to it, and our second doubles of Ryan Val our first doubles of Ryan Val and Nate Bernasky, they did beat Carson He and Andrew Sway. So, and then Jack Wong wound up losing in the finals to a young man from Princeton who was very good. They played a great match. They went to 3. It was a very, very entertaining match because both of those guys were really heavy hitters. And then just watching them play was remarkable. Jack actually cramped up a little bit. At the end of that, I kind of felt like he had that match at hand before he started cramping. But then the cramps got to him a little bit, and the kid from Princeton pulled away. But, our guys performed so great all year. They were fun to watch. The fall we had the gymnastics team who did what they did. And then in the spring we kind of bookended it with our tennis team, kind of doing some of the similar things that they did. It was just domination, throughout the state tournament for that group of guys. And really good group of kids, that tennis team. I think Coach Woodmeyer did a wonderful job with them. Coach Mangino also helps out, during the spring. But I got to go to a lot of matches with them and see them compete and play. And they were very consistent. They did not get flustered. The game of tennis, you see some people see some kids or players react to a lot of things. Our guys do not. They just keep on playing, which is it's pretty great to see and pretty wonderful to see their sportsmanship on the tennis courts.
And boys volleyball kind of had a up and down season.
Yeah, they did. Good group of guys, young. the GMC was tough this year. They found themselves in a lot of matches and just could not finish them. But again, Coach Portera puts out a great product. We know how to play. It's just a matter of getting over the hump, and I think next year with some of the returners that we have, I think we'll be able to do that.
All right, so we've covered this season's worth of sports. Now, for the fall, when does all this activity start up again? I mean, for you, it's a 12-month kind of thing. But for the athletes, when will that start kicking in? When will we start seeing tryouts? When we start seeing teams practicing at the high school?
Summer workouts, as you alluded to before with baseball, there's some summer leagues taking place. Lacrosse is already playing in their travel stuff for the summer, and a lot of our teams are. So, we'll have on-campus soccer, field hockey, football going on probably in middle of July. Optional workouts. And then tryouts will begin August 22nd for our most of our fall sports, and football starts the 15th. And it'll be a great start to the fall. The summer will be bustling. Our place is always crowded, always teams on there working out, getting prepared for the fall season. So it'll be exciting to watch our teams kind of get themselves prepared. And, we put this school year and this athletic season to bed today, and yet, a couple weeks from now, we'll be revving up to start again.
How many students, if you think about the 4 grades, which would be about 2,800 students, 2,700 total students, how many of them compete athletically for us at that level?
So we started counting up. We were counting up because just getting for busing issues and things like that. So, we sometimes in some seasons we have close to 300 kids, 400 kids competing, if you want to include the band and cheer in that as well. And now this year too, we're adding 7th grade to our middle school program, which is also very exciting. It's a great model to have because now you're getting 2 years of introduction to our high school teams, and we do a very good job here in East Brunswick of the communication between our high school programs and the middle school programs. I think that's key. It's something that's very important in a lot of the school districts that I've been at. That's always been a key to
well, how will you handle? I
success.
mean, this is as a result of the fact that they're redistributing the grades here.
Yeah.
You're going K through 4, then Hammersholt is going to become a 5-6 elementary.
Yep.
And then the 7th graders get pushed into Churchill. But Churchill, they're going to use a lot of the athletic fields in the back for these portable trailer-type settings for that 7th grade to be there.
Right.
Where are they going to practice?
Oh, they'll be at the high school. Yeah, we've already started, diagramming all of that out. We have plenty of fields in town. We're very fortunate, to have what we have here in East Brunswick, to be able to accommodate and house all of our teams, to be able to practice every day and play games, So I think that's a great thing about having a school our size and having the grounds that we have and the facilities that we have, because, we have a little bump in the road with the construction at Churchill this year, and now, we're still able to make an adjustment and have our teams play and be able to compete without skipping a beat. So it's a great thing to have, and the great resources to have here in East Brunswick.
Does the addition of the 7th grade athletics create any additional issues with regard to the timing? Because that's another issue coming up this year, is that the school day is going to start later for the for Churchill and for the high school. And is that going to bump into athletics in the after school time period? Because one of the concerns that in talking to other parents were, and I, as a parent of an athlete who's going to be coming up trying out for the 9th grade team, as a 9th grader coming up, the extra half hour, put it on the back end. The games will start later, perhaps, and the practices will be later. Is that a logistics problem? Are you getting any feedback from parents who see this as a potential issue?
No, I think, look, these later start times have become commonplace because we compete against a lot of schools with a lot of busing issues. So a lot of our games were not starting until, sometimes we had 4 o'clock starts, but it wasn't uncommon to have a 4:30 or 5 o'clock start, and this may just add into the fold of that for us. But I think by us getting out at the time that we're getting out now, I think 4 o'clock is still, for our home games, is still a feasible time to be able to begin our events. I think moving forward, it's becoming the norm, simply just because of some of the busing issues that we've been up against with opposing schools, and so if there are different time slots and we go to a 4:15, it won't be much of a change of pace because we've been kind of dealing with it for the last year, with the busing issues that some schools have had.
Well, we understand that labor's tight all over,
Yep.
but
And we're adjusting.
yeah,
We're adjusting. And look, and think about it, not having a stadium, the busing issues that everyone experienced this year, we were able to, for all of our 3 seasons, we had a remarkable athletic school year for our kids.
Well, that's true too. The focus on the actual game and product, and not the extraneous stuff that's going on around
correct,
the outside.
and that's the important thing. From our standpoint is, we want to be able to give our kids every opportunity to experience what they experience, have some fun, learn a little bit, and be able to compete and play. And we were able to do that this year. So, whatever comes our way, our kids have proven that they can adjust. They got a little bit of moxie, they got a little bit of toughness, and they can adjust to it. So I think that's the exciting part of it. And as on the sports field, as is life, you have to be able to make adjustments and in the face of adversity, and our kids have been able to do it.
And that wraps up our look at the spring sports season at East Brunswick High School. Obviously, we'll be back in the fall, hopefully covering live sports such as soccer or football at the J. Doyle Field. So hopefully all that will work out nicely. Yeah. And we thank EBTV for their continued support of East Brunswick High School athletics. For Frank Malta, I'm Ken Saroka. Have a great summer. We'll see you back in the fall.